healthcare worker. If your work experience is in NOC 31301, that is registered nurses and registered psychiatric nurses, which is falling into tier 1, you can have a job offer in one of the following occupation categories. So it has to be tier 3 or 4, 33102 or 44101. So it can be nursing aides and some kind of or patient services associates or home support workers, caregivers, and related occupations. So that's an exception they have given for these two specific specific NOC code. And then also there's an exception based on the student status in that community. If you're graduated from that community itself, international student who graduated from public post-secondary school in the community. So if you're applying for this RCIP program in North Bay, you will have to be a graduate from a public post-secondary school in North Bay itself. An eligible credential in the program 2 years or longer, and you studied full-time for the entire program, got your credential no more than 18 months before applying permanent residence. So it cannot be like 5 years back you have completed the program and now you're applying to the RCIP program. You will not have the exemption if in that case. And were in the community for at least 16 of the last 24 months while studying. So you have to be in that community for at least 16 months. Or if you have completed a master's degree or higher, that took 2 years or less, and you studied full time for the entire degree, got your degree no more than 18 months before applying for the PR, were in the community for the length of your study period. So if you fulfill this, now you see that 2 year, 1 year programs are exempt, not included in this. So if you have done a 1 year postgraduate certificate program in the community, you will not get this exemption. So it has to be minimum 2 years. If not, it has to be a master's program. So work experience exemption, if you studied or graduated in the in the community, does not apply to international students if the credential is from a program where studying English or French. So ESL programs will not be in this. English or French made up more than half of the program. Distance learning programs, more than half of the program you have done online. You received a scholarship or fellowship that requires you to return to your home country. So if you had kind of an agreement that you got a Fulbright scholarship or something where it is required that you return to your home country after the completion of the program, then you will not be able to apply for RCIP anyway. So what do we call as an eligible credential? An eligible credential means a degree, diploma, or a certificate program, or a trade or apprenticeship credential from a publicly funded Canadian post-secondary institution in the recommending community. So it has to be a public institution, not a privately owned institution. Then the next factor. So we talked about the work experience, we talked about the job offer. And then the language requirement. So you have to show minimum of one official languages, English or French. So if you show French, there's another program called FCIP, similar to this, Francophone Community Immigration Pilot. So that you will be eligible under that program as well if you speak French and if you have a good score in French. So, but I have not included much details about the FCIP program here because the topic for today's session is RCIP. But it works at exactly the same way, no difference. The only difference is under FCIP in each community, FCIP will have different set of priority sectors and different set of priority occupations. That's the only thing you will have to look at. Other than that, the program is the same. So for English, you can show either CELPIP, IELTS, or PTE. If you're doing CELPIP or IELTS, you have to do it in the general stream. If you're doing PTE, you have to do the PTE 4. French, you have to do TEF and TCF. So one of these tests. And the score required language score will differ based on the tier of your job offer. If you have received a job offer of tier 0 or 1, you will have to have a CLB 7 minimum, tier 2 or 3, a CLB 5 minimum, tier 4 or 5, a CLB 4 minimum. So how you would know your CLB level, you will have to go and check on the government website and check for that particular um, English test to see what is your CLB level according to the table provided. So if you are finding it difficult to figure out, you can always call us. We will help you finding your CLB level. So this is a very important thing, the priority sectors and occupation codes, the knock codes. So these are approved by IRCC, and most of the communities, uh, just before I joined this webinar, I checked again in each one of the communities to see what is new, because every day, because these days it's getting updated. So like 2 days back when I checked Sudbury website, I did not see the priority. I did not see the designated list of employers, but when I checked it today, I saw it. So they are updating the websites now, and most of the communities have already um, published their priority sectors and occupation codes. So why it is important? If you take one community, I'll go to the website and show you in a bit. So if you go to the community website and you see the priority occupations and the priority sectors, so for an employer to be designated on the first place, the employer will have to fall into one of those priority sector occupations. So their business has to be in tally with, be in par with one of the priority sectors, be in operations related to that. And also they will have to employ at least one of the priority occupations from the priority occupations list. And also, when you apply as a candidate, when you apply for the recommendation through the to get the RCIP, um, then they will check whether the job offer falls into that priority sectors. So the good news is this pilot program is planned for 5 years, and it was just launched. So it will go on for another 5 years, and uh, and this program is an employer-driven program. So all the communities have advised uh, the employers to reach out to them. So if the employer is not in a priority sector, they can make a request through their community office, and based on how many requests they will receive, they might include that sector in the future. So it might get revised therefore. And even the priority occupations will, if they really see that there is a requirement. So for now, they have done it based on whatever the statistics they have in terms of what are the occupations which are hard to find their employees in that particular area, and what are the sectors which are very important for the economic development and which are mainly having difficulties in terms of sourcing their employees. This is how they have identified the priority sectors and the occupations for now, and these might get revised therefore. So, and also you can see it differs in each community and also based on the program, whether it's RCIP or FCIP. So, before I go into the community recommendation, let me show you um, at least one uh, community which is having, which has listed the priority occupations. So since most of our participants are from BC today. I'll take one of the communities in BC, which is West Kootenay. So, okay, so I told you that they will have the boundaries. They will give you the boundaries of the for the program as well. So they will list down what are the regions that they will cover. Okay, so okay, so these are the priority sectors. For the region of community of West Kootenay, these are the priority sectors uh, they have identified: health, education, law and social, community and government services, sales and service, fast food businesses are not eligible, trades, transport and equipment operator, manufacturing and utilities. So if you go down to the priority occupations, so they have listed down these priority occupations. Okay, so accounting technicians and bookkeepers, general office support, healthcare aides, career development practitioners, career counselors, social and community service workers, early childhood educators, cooks, bakers. So that's one one good news in uh, as I remember, in all three communities in BC, I'll show you the priority sectors and the priority occupations in the other two communities as well. So they have the cooks and bakers as well as the F&B servers as listed. Food counter attendant, kitchen helpers, related support occupations. Because I know most, based on the inquiries we get, most of our Sri Lankans who have come on LMIA work permits, as well as those who are on open work permits, have found their jobs in this sector and these occupations. So I think this is a good news, therefore. And truck drivers, material handlers, trades helpers, laborers, processing and manufacturing, utility laborers, and stuff. These are the priority occupations. And then I'll show you for North Okanagan. Okay, so these are the priority sectors for North Okanagan: health, education, law and social, community and government services, sales and service, trades and transport, manufacturing and utilities. Pretty much similar to the previous list. So you see, but you will see some differences when it comes to this occupational priority occupations like pharmacy technical assistants and pharmacy assistants. I did not see in the previous list. So restaurant and food service managers are also included in this one: executive housekeepers, hairstylists and barbers, uh, plumbers, carpenters, HVAC mechanics. Yeah. Okay, so most of the other ones are pretty much similar, um, and manufacturing managers as well. So this Okanagan has an interesting list, and I'll show you the next one as well. The last one, which is Peace Laird. Uh, Peace Laird is one place, as I remember, has IT. So IT is not part of most of the communities. This has natural resources and agriculture, natural and applied sciences, education, law and social, community and government services, sales and service, trades and transport. So as I remember, this is where they have, yeah, this is the community, the only community I saw so far, which has computer network and web technicians, user support technicians, some IT knock codes have gotten in this list. So it's an interesting one, therefore. Cashiers, food and beverage servers, food counter attendants. Yeah, so this list is an attractive list for most of our clients. So this is how you will check the priority sectors and priority occupations, and that way you will know whether your job offer qualifies and also whether your employer qualifies for the program. And once you have all those requirements fulfilled, then you can apply for community recommendation. So you make an application. Basically, the employer is supposed to make this application. I mentioned earlier as well. RCIP is an employer-driven program. So basically, the employer is the one who will have to submit the application on behalf of the employee for community recommendation. Once you have valid job offer from a designated employer, they will send your community recommendation application directly to the community to review. And communities will make sure that your job offer is in a priority sector or occupation and the offer is a real one. You meet all the requirements for the pilot, you meet the language requirements, you meet the work experience requirements, you meet the requirements of like maintain status, things like that. And if they decide to recommend you, then you will get a letter of recommendation from the province, from the community. And with that, you will be able to apply for your PR. So the scoring guide, each participating community develops its own point system um, to assess applications. So this will be based on the applications they receive. So for now, uh, we uh, they have mentioned that the applicants need to meet a minimum score of 50, often 50 points, but this is not very clear now. Points are awarded based on factors like job offer, the knock code, work experience, language proficiency, education, um, and the applicant's intention to reside in the community, of course. So, based on these, you will get points, and complete applications meeting the minimum score will be placed on a candidate pool. And if uh, so many candidates have applied than the number that they can actually recommend or actually absorb as permanent residents, then there will be a competition. So this is a gray area. We don't have much information yet. So I only saw the community of Timings in northern Ontario. That's the only community I saw who have published their uh, scoring grid very clearly, and this is how that works. So you see the priority sector. Based on the priority sector also, you will get different points, right? So uh, like health will get higher points than the education, social, community, and government services. And business, finance, and administration is also getting a lower score than the other sectors. And then the priority occupation. So based on the knock code also, they have assigned uh, different points. So therefore, like based on the based on how critical that occupation is for that community, they have given more points to certain occupations and less points to certain occupations. And then the work experience, if you have 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, likewise. And candidate is an international graduate who qualifies for work experience exemption as confirmed by supporting documents like if you're a graduate in that community or something like that. And then the language proficiency based on your CLB level. Then if you're French speaking, then you will have more points for that. Education, with what is the level of your education. For master's degrees, you will get the highest points. Intend to reside in that province. So there are certain factors they will consider when it comes to measuring the intent to reside in that province. So based on that, you will also get certain points. So this is how the points grid is made for teamings. I'm just showing it to you so you have an idea. So other communities will also have a somewhat similar grid, but I'm pretty sure the points they will allocate for different sectors will be different. Points they will allocate for priority occupations will be different. This is solely based on how important that particular sector or that particular occupation is for that province. Right. So if you have, assuming that you have got selected through, you have got a very competitive score, and you are getting a recommendation from the province based on your higher score. Now you can apply for the PR, and you know the federal PR application is going to take some time. And what will you do until you get the get a decision on your PR application? So this is a question we have for many of our, especially the temporary residents who are here. So suppose you were on an open work permit, PGWP or SOWP, by the time you applied under RCIP. So if you have an open work permit, um, once you have the job offer, you can right away start working for that employer. And while you're working for that employer, you can submit your employer can submit the documents for recommendation. And if you have got the recommendation, then you can submit your PR application. And if your current work permit is coming to an end in another couple of months, now that you have submitted your PR application, you will be eligible to apply for a bridging open work permit for yourself as well as for your spouse, and also for your kids, whatever the permits that they are eligible to get. So this is one benefit you can get. And also, if you're outside of Canada, if you're in Sri Lanka or out anywhere else outside of Canada, and you have received a job offer under the RCIP program, and you have submitted your PR application, then once you get your AOR, you will be able to apply for a work permit, because the work permit application is likely to process before the PR application. So when you get the decision on your work permit application, you will be able to come to Canada and work until you are waiting for your PR applications. So that's also an important thing. So you will be eligible to get a 2-year work permit under the RCIP program. So this will let you work until your PR application will be processed. So this work permit is only it's a closed work permit. You should understand that it's not an open work permit, because it is based on the job offer that you have received from this rural employer, and it will be only valid for 2 years, and uh, it'll only be under the RCIP program, and therefore will be a closed work permit. So this is how it will be. So that's the content I have selected for today's session, and I hope that gave you an idea about the program a little bit.